Animated films have become more inclusive, giving young viewers around the world characters that look more like them. Disney-Pixar's Turning Red continues on this lovely path to representation with Rosalie Chang as Mei Lee, a confident, dorky 13-year-old torn between her duties as a good daughter and all the chaos that comes with being a teen. Except, her overwhelming emotions manifest more obviously than most.
It's gonna be me.
I'm a gross red monster!
Sandra Oh stars as her overprotective mom, Ming. She's a tiger mom, and anyone who grew up in an Asian household can probably relate.
This isn't happening.
And no movie about our teens would be complete without a pop group like
Four Town!
Four Town is Robert, Aaron T, Jesse, Aaron Z, and Tae Young. Their songs in the film were composed by Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas O'Connell. To tell us more,
Hey, what's up? I'm Grayson Villanueva, and I voiced Tae Young in Disney-Pixar's Turning Red.
Hi, Grayson. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from, what you studied, and stuff like that?
Sure. Okay. I am from Los Angeles, California. I studied cognitive psychology and minored in education and linguistics. But yeah, music had always been such a serious hobby, especially in high school, and recognized that it was such an undeniable force in my life that, after college, I decided this is what I want to do.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how did you stumble onto the industry?
Sure. Yeah. How did I stumble on this? Good question. I started doing music in high school because a lot of my friends were doing it, and we had a lot of like Filipino-Americans doing the YouTube thing, like Gabe Bondoc, Melissa Polinar, Adria Rafael, and those are the kind of the people who kind of inspired me because I was like, oh, like they look like me and they're doing music, and I feel like I really like that, and I spent a lot of time doing music while doing my studies. But it wasn't until college that I met my mentor, Glenn Clancy. He's a vocal coach. But yeah, he really also inspired me, also Filipino, to pursue a career in music, not just as a coach, but also just as a person, like a business person. And so that was really impactful for me. In college, I ended up finding a cappella in my last year, but I loved it so much that I wanted to do it after that. And so started my own group, started working at Universal Studios, also ended up working as a music producer, audio engineer, and videographer. And so I was working primarily with other artists who wanted to collaborate in those areas as well.
Right, and let's talk about Turning Red. How did you come to be involved in this project?
There was a vocal contractor that I got connected with. Hey, there's this opportunity that I think you'd be good for, but I don't see any clips on your website. It's for a boy band. So then I thought okay, I don't have anything, but I can record something for you. I'm an audio engineer, so I can come up with something. I submitted it, heard nothing for 3 months, and then 1 week I get a text from the vocal contractor and, hey, Disney's gonna call you this week. And I just my jaw dropped. I was like, wait, what? Disney? I was floored when I got that call.
I can imagine. So you played Tae Young, you're the cute one. How did you approach the role? Did you come up with some personality quirks for him?
Tae Young you're right, is the youngest character, youngest in the boy band. I find that he's very compassionate. On his off time, he helps rehabilitate injured doves. And yeah, I kind of brought that same warm-heartedness to the character. I also have a very tenorish voice, and so naturally sit in a younger sounding range, and so yeah, that's kind of what I brought to this character and to the rest of the band. I'll never not be
alright. So what was the experience like being in a boy band and working with Billy and Phineas?
Oh, it was so great. When we first got the music, they were just demos, but Billy was singing on all the vocal tracks. It was such a joy to hear everything kind of come together and and see how that translated to the boy band voices. Billy was also there in the control room, kind of giving us direction. Phineas is one of the boy band members, so he was kind of like, you know, on the ground with us, getting his hands dirty. The rest of the boy band members, Jordan Fisher, Josh Levi, Topher Ngo, they're all like standout vocalists. And so it was so fun to be able to take what we heard as a demo and like bring it to life as a boy band.
Yeah, reception to Four Town has been amazing. I know they're called Four Townies, and there's a website. I even saw like a Coachella tweet somewhere. But what's been the wildest reaction for you?
Honestly, I think that is the wildest reaction to me, is that this fictional boy band is now charting in real life. And yeah, I think what's so great too is that like Billy and Phineas are like so great at what they do as a producer and as songwriters, and they really nailed down that like 2000s boy band sound, but also combined it with, you know, the modern production of like a pop song that you would hear today. And I think that's what makes it so big, bombastic, so real. And I'm just so glad that all the Four Townies are enjoying what they're hearing. Because yeah, it was so fun to make, so fun.
How much can you relate to this movie as a whole?
Oh my gosh, so there's so much about it that I can relate to, you know, like you know, just being cringy. I feel like growing up, there's so much that, you know, kind of like sort of in the story how like Mei is trying to hide her panda in the beginning. Like that to me is what I would relate to, is like, oh, I really don't want people to see the ugliness of growing up. But then when she starts to embrace it, that she starts to, you know, be more confident in herself, that's really like kind of like that turning point for me. Is that like, you know, I hope that people, when they watch this movie, what they get out of it is that like that they can embrace their own giant red panda, you know, be able to embrace the journey that you've gone through, because it's made you who you are. Turning Red is just such a great film and story. I'm just so honored to be a part of it. They don't center the identity of the character, but they center the experience, and the identity of the character they just happen to be Asian. And I want to see more films just like that.
And speaking of that, of course, Pinoys everywhere are proud of you. Anything you can share about your Filipino roots?
My dad is from Pangasinan and my mom is from Santa Cruz, Laguna. And growing up, I definitely had a lot of Filipino influence as well. And I specifically am from like a town that has a pretty big Filipino community. It's so great, and definitely something that I'm proud of.
Any strong emotion will release the panda.
What brings out your panda, and how do you harness it into something productive or good?
For me, it, like anytime I'm at like any concert that I love, or like an artist that I love, that's when my panda comes out. I'm like such a huge music fan that like I just really get immersed in it.
Now I gotta ask, who are some of the artists that bring out your inner red panda?
Oh my gosh. I would say John Mayer, Maggie Rogers, her, Daniel Caesar. I'm influenced by a lot of like songwriter and like R&B soul type artists. So yeah, there's such a long list. We'd be here forever if I continued to talk.
All right, thank you so much, Grayson. It's a pleasure meeting you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Shai. Such a pleasure.
Mama's girls.